So we're going to start this video off with a little bit of a laboratory exploration exercise. So I'm going to take 6 things here. The first thing that we have is some Kool-Aid. Ka-chow. Then I have black pepper, plain old flour, some beads, some rice, and I'm going to take blue food coloring here so that you can see what's going on. Bloop, bloop. Okay, so I have 6 substances here. Chemicals, if you will, because they're all made out of atoms, and we know they're made out of atoms because they all have mass and they all take up space. So I want you to predict. Predict means pre-dictate. So pre-say what's going to happen before you really know what's going to happen. What will happen when we add water to each of these? And you're going to write that down. Oh, I don't want to write it down. It hurts to write stuff down. I don't like it. Write it down on your paper. What will happen when we add water to each of these substances? So I'll give you a moment. You can pause the video if you would like, so you can write your predictions down. You can't predict after something has already been done because then you know what's going to happen. So predict before we move on. So pause. Do it. Go. Did you pause? Okay, so make sure you have your prediction. Okay, so what's the point? Why are we doing this? You're going to understand soon enough. We all have our reasonings for doing this. So in the real classroom, it's a little bit more fun to do because you get to see what happens. But in here, I'm going to go ahead and add the water so that you can see. So I'm going to add water to each of these containers. And let's see if your predictions indeed came to fruition. Bloop, 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 bloop. Okay, so let's go beads first. Added water to beads. Looky there. What happened? What happened? Oh, write down what happened. Did anything happen? Okay, here we have the rice. Stir, 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 stir. And what do we got there? What do we got? It's a little cloudy, but we still have rice in the bottom. Now, if I do food coloring here, you can see we have, oh yeah, it's over here. Food coloring, yeah, it's all nice and mixed in. The next one here, we're gonna do Kool-Aid. So again, I spilled Kool-Aid in the rice, whoops. Kool-Aid is mixed up pretty well. Here I have flour, and you can see that there's specks of flour still floating on top. And no matter how well I stir, unlike the Kool-Aid, there's always chunks. And last but not least, I'm going to stir my flour here. And you can see here that there's kind of chunks in the flour, and I could probably smooth that out, but chunks, okay? Chunks. So, I want you to take a moment. Oh, but I don't want 2 mils. I just want you to tell me the answer. Just tell me what I need to know. That's not how science works. And what I want you to do is to categorize. Categorize means to create a category. So, eyes, there we go. And I want you to make 2 categories that you can place the objects in. So each thing needs to go in to one of the 2 categories, and I want you to give them a name. So name your categories and then list what you put in each of those categories. So again, we have our Kool-Aid here. We have our flecky pepper. We have the kind of clumpy flour, the beads, the rice hanging out, and the food coloring. So create the categories, give each category a name, and only when you have done this thing, then I will tell you the scientific name for the categories. So do it now, go, do it, categorize. Yes. Oh, by the way, the categories do not have to have equal things. So it doesn't have to be 3 and 3. It could be 2 and 4. It could be 1 and 5. It could be 0 and 6, I guess, but that doesn't really work. There's got to be at least one in each category. So categorize. Now, do it. Go.